Hey there, everybody. Sometimes you end up in that situation where you're really tired, so you drink a bunch of caffeine, and then after you drink a bunch of caffeine, you can't really fall asleep that night, and so you end up really tired the next day, so you drink even more caffeine, so you end up not being able to sleep, and then you get the idea, perpetuates on and on and on. Yeah, I'm talking about abuse of caffeine and chemical dependence, and how maybe getting off of that is a good idea. So when it comes to caffeine, I am no stranger. I started drinking coffee when I was in my teens and energy drinks while I was still in high school as well. And that continued on throughout my life. Pre workout, energy drinks, coffee, all sorts of different types of caffeine. Pretty much the only type of caffeine I've never indulged in are caffeine pills. I've even tried caffeine chew in my lip back in the days when I was dipping, which I don't do that anymore. And that's, I guess, the broader subject of this video beyond just caffeine is I'm trying to make some really serious health changes. And those have been progressing throughout the years. Those have involved almost entirely stopping drinking alcohol. I have maybe a half dozen to 10 drinks a year. Very limited, almost entirely social occasions. And moving forward, I'm not even sure that I'm going to partake that much. It's very much not a habit anymore, although at one time in my life for about a year it really was when I was young, out of high school, but still in college. I also was a smoker for a while. I chewed for a while. Definitely indulged heavily in caffeine. And I also have had a weakness for less than ideal foods, just all of the general stuff. So I've been coming up with this plan, and I wanted to share it with you guys. It's this idea that I had, and I'm going to try to, execute and go through with this plan. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So I've come up with this step-by-step plan. I'm not going to try and do everything at once. Originally, I was. I was just going to try and hit everything on this bullet point all at once and implement everything into my life at once to try and be healthier. And I just realized, you know what? It's just going to be too much to do this all at once. And if I fail at any one thing along the way, I'm going to feel like I failed at everything and it's going to spiral out of control and I'm going to quit. So, first of all, I've got day 1 through 5, eliminate caffeine. I've already gone through those stages. Today is day 5. This is Friday night that I'm recording this. And as of tonight, it has been Monday through Friday, a full 5 days, zero caffeine at all. I've had 2 cups of decaf coffee, which I did my research. If anything, a couple milligrams of caffeine, which when you're talking about 800 to 1,000 milligrams a day that I was taking, it's nothing. So I've already gone through day 1 through 5, which I'm really proud of. And so as I move through this list, I don't stop doing bullet point 1 when I hit bullet point 2 or 3 or 4. Each bullet point will carry down into the next one so that it's a snowball effect. And over the course of this kind of program that I'm putting together for myself, all of these healthy habits will get kind of put into place. So I've already done day 1 through 5, eliminate caffeine. Starting tomorrow morning, day 2 through 10, I'm going to do a cold shower in the morning. I'm going to jump straight into it. I have experience doing cold plunge and everything else, so this isn't new to me. I've heard people talk about, how you can build up slowly, start with a warm shower that then you turn cold at the end for just a brief period of time and that sort of thing. I'm not doing that. I'm going to just turn it as cold as the shower will go. I'm even going to let the pipe run for a little bit and make sure that I've got the freshest, coldest water that I can. And I'm going to hop in there and I'm going to do my thing, take my normal morning shower, and I'm not going to necessarily go for a certain amount of time, but I'm not going to just jump in and out. I'll take the time that I need to do a normal shower. So that'll be days 2 through 10. Days 11 through 15, I will still have no caffeine, still have the cold showers, and I'm going to introduce intermittent fasting. I'm kind of still formulating the exact plan I have for intermittent fasting. Thomas DeLauer did a video discussing how it's not necessarily good to kind of get on a schedule of either eating just in the morning or eating just in the evening and sticking with it. It almost seems like your body kind of gets used to it a little too much. And so he was talking about doing this thing where you kind of phase shift and you go back and forth between having your feeding window be in the morning or your feeding window being in the evening. And that's something that really interests me. I also am Catholic, and throughout Lent, I was fasting a lot on Fridays. So generally, what my plan is, I'm going to try for a 4-hour feeding window, 20 hours in between, and then I will skip my 4-hour feeding window on Fridays, which will then allow me to shift from morning to night. So let's say Monday, or I guess it would be Saturday so Saturday, Sunday, all the way up until Friday. Let's say that I was eating 4 hours in the morning, from the time that I first get up till, whenever 4 hours from then is maybe. On Friday, I would skip that morning meal, go all the way through until Saturday afternoon, and then begin eating Saturday afternoon, eat in the afternoon and evening all for 4 hours, all the way through that next week. When I get to Friday evening, skip that meal, but go ahead and eat first thing, or not first thing, but eat in the morning again on Saturday morning and so forth. So it keeps cycling back and forth. That's my current thinking. That could change, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So after that, we'll keep all of that going. And day 16 through 20, I'm going to start adding in a 1-mile walk. I'm probably going to try and do some of those before I hit day 16. But the idea with this is once I hit each of these bullets, they'll become mandatory for me. There'll be no excuse. So when I hit day 16 through 20, 1-mile walk isn't, I'm going to try to do a 1-mile walk. No, it's 1-mile walk is mandatory every single day. It's once around my large city block. It's not that big of a deal. It's a short walk, 15, maybe 20 minutes at an even moderate pace, moderately brisk. So that's the plan. And then we're going to hit day 21. Now this one is, you've probably noticed that all of these are 5-day increments. This is the longest increment we're going to hit. So day 21, we're going to go into, what would that be? A 15? No. Sorry. Thinking. Is that a full 20-day? Yeah, that's a full 20-day increment when you count day 40. So then we're going to go into a full 20-day increment, which is going to be implementing either the Lion Diet or something very close to it. I may, because of budgetary concerns, have to add in a certain amount of chicken and or eggs, typical carnivore foods, rather than going with the pure just basically steaks or beef that's on the Lion Diet. But I will be limiting myself to just water, and salt and meat, maybe eggs. But we're going to play with that. But more or less a close to Lion Diet carnivore kind of thing for 20 days. When I hit day 40, or 41, I guess, I wrote day 40. It would have been it's going to bug me, so I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it right now because I can. There you go. Fixed. Okay, so from day 41 on, the idea will be that I'll start to reintroduce non-meat whole foods. Think berries, maybe some vegetables. I know, there's a lot of people like Paul Saladino and Sean Baker who say all vegetables are a no-go. I don't know. We'll see how I feel after 20 days on the Lion Diet. Maybe that'll be how I feel too. Maybe it won't be, but I suspect I'll want to add in maybe some avocado, maybe an occasional salad. I actually really do enjoy an occasional salad. Almost definitely an occasional fruits, like all just natural blended fruit smoothie. I like to do that with just fruit and water, and sometimes I add some like electrolytes into that kind of thing. And then I'm going to also try adding back in just a single serving of normal coffee. It'll either be a single shot Americano, or a single drip coffee, something along those lines with nothing but maybe a little bit of heavy cream in it. And I'll try it. If I like the way it feels, great. If it doesn't, I will have at this point in time spent 40 days caffeine free. Um, I don't think that experimenting with that a little bit is going to hurt. If I enjoy it, great. If I don't, if I like the flavor, but maybe not the way I feel, then I'll just invest in some quality decaf coffee so that I can enjoy that as a ritual that, is just flavor, essentially, just for old time's sake kind of thing. But if, maybe I won't enjoy it at all. We'll just have to see. Once I get through the first 40 days, day 41 is essentially kind of exploring going back to a quote unquote normal mode of living, like a kind of a maintenance period. So I'm not going to be quite as strict, but the whole point of doing this 40 days is to kind of develop new habits. So there'll be certain things that don't go back. There'll be certain things that remain, and like the walking and, the cold showers. And there may be things that do shift back a little bit. It'll kind of go from there. And then the one other thing, I didn't want to add this in because I've got a lot on my plate right now. I'm trying to get into, I basically have gotten into nursing school. So I'll probably do a video talking about that, probably several videos as I go through. So that's going to be a lot. I work full time. I've got 5 kids. It's a lot. But at that point, since all of these things should have become habitual and they shouldn't really take up a lot of mental energy, a lot of time, for the most part, I'm going to start kind of looking through some of the old resistance training programs, weightlifting and body weight and everything else that I've either done in the past or seen in the past, and kind of try and pinpoint on one or a few that might be good to add in maybe a handful of times a week, just so that I can kind of get to the point that I'm doing that resistance training. I'm not going to focus on that in the first 40 days. I might do a few push-ups here and there, a few squats, that kind of thing, but it's not going to be any kind of actual programmed resistance training, just because I feel like just trying to get this stuff going is putting a lot on my plate as it is. So anyway, you guys, that is pretty much it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. That's what's going on. I'm 5 days with no caffeine, and plan to go another 35 days with no caffeine to kind of fully reset my tolerance. I think that 40 days ought to be enough time. But I don't know if anybody, if you have any experience with that, if you've ever detoxed from caffeine or whatever, and you have some information about that you want to share with me, definitely feel free to drop that in the comments. Let me know. If you have any advice, if you think that maybe there's somewhere along this plan that I'm maybe missing something, or something could be ordered a little differently or whatever, feel free to let me know. And if you have something that you're doing to try and improve yourself and you want to share, absolutely share that as well. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time. Make sure you smash that like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video if you want. If you found this interesting, I'll be posting updates as I go through. I'll probably shoot for trying to give an update every Friday if I can, so that every time I'm implementing, I will have done a full week. So like this week, I did my full week caffeine free. Next week, it'll be my full week of cold showers. And maybe since I won't be explaining what I'm doing as much in the next video, I'll kind of do a recap of how this first week went as well. I'm not going to do that in this video because I've already been rambling forever and I want to keep it kind of sweet. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.